So the number one mistake people make when they build a house is today we're going to talk with Brent Schoonover, and he's going to explain.
I'm Brent Schoonover with All Metro Home Inspection, and we're going to walk through this house today and just show you a few things that could be corrected before the house has a drywall put on it, move things around, switches, bad wood, things like that. We'll just take a look and you can see whether you think it's valuable or not to have an inspection done, a phase inspection done, which seems to be what everybody's doing these days because everything's new construction, a lot of building going on in this area. Follow me, we'll go take a look. So primarily at this stage, what would be good as a homeowner to do and have an inspector walk through as well as your agent is placement of light switches and placement of wall outlets. This is the garage, and if you decided that you want more receptacles than what's required by the city and the state, this would be a good time to add those in and get that type of work done. Typically, what we look for wood, and when we're going through this process, as you can see this structural member here is loose, so that needs to be anchored better. Same thing on this side. They did the same thing as well with this one. The wood is loose and moving around. It's got some other wood around it which will help support it, but we might as well get this anchored and taken care of at this point. Another thing we can look at this process is down here we have the anchor bolts for the walls. They missed this one, they didn't get it tightened up, so we would like to hope that the builder knows about that and would make sure it got done, but you just never know. It doesn't hurt to have an extra set of eyes to take a look at it and just make sure those things are done. Another good thing that you can catch at this point is bad wood. Here is a wall stud that's severely compromised on this side. So at this part, it's easy for them to switch this out and get a good piece of wood in there. You never know whenever that may be the spot you want to nail something or add something in or whatever. And that stud, if you tried to put a screw or a nail in there, it could split it even worse and not work very well for you. Other things we're looking for is insulation around these outer walls. You can see this pink foam. We're going to check that all the way around the house today and make sure that it's in place. And as you'll see, they've got this expandable foam in several places along here. That's to make your house more efficient. But as you look in here in this thermoply, you'll see holes in here, and those need to be taped and sealed over to help add to the insulation of your home. Here's a big prime example right here. So, that needs to be put back together and then they tape back over it. Hopefully the builder sees that and corrects it. Here's another hole over here. So all these places need to be sealed and taken care of. We're looking for places where electrical should be, or maybe you decided you made some changes. We need to kind of check it and see if things were installed where you want them. One thing, they have electrical for the kitchen island here. Sometimes that gets covered over, so we can check for those items. These are, once again, this will be the kitchen and placement of outlets within your kitchen for plugging in appliances and so forth. This is a good time to get that stuff corrected if it's not where you want it. The installation of the range vent flue pipe, the installation of the dryer flue pipe and how it exits and terminates. All those things we can look at clearly, which you wouldn't see if you were trying to get the home inspected right before you move in. You may not see those type things. So that's another very good reason hopefully the builder will remove this stud or put this jack stud back in place. So we'll have a comment about that. Yeah, we moved along a little further along in the house, and this is back in a corner bedroom. And we noticed, once again, holes. We noticed that this particular anchor bolt in the corner of the house is not all the way down. And they've missed a piece of siding or covering for this window casement. So hopefully the builder sees that. You never know once they put the drywall on if they're going to be able to notice that before they finish out the house or not. Another thing you would really work to your advantage is looking at the placement of the air vents. In this particular house, the home builder placed a vent in a different place than the model, and the home buyer was concerned about that, so they were able to move that for him at this point. Really easy. We're also looking for proper installation of door headers, doubled wood. That just helps with hanging the doors and making the doors work better throughout the years of the home. Also, placement of light fixtures. This is a hallway. Is this where you want the light? Is it by design? Those type things you can look at as well in this aspect. Another thing that builders are required to do is to put in these metal plates over plumbing drain lines and over electrical penetrations. That's to keep you from nailing in or screwing something into those lines and causing a leak. So we're checking for those protective plates. You'll see those periodically throughout the house. Here's an example here. They put this plate in to protect this water line all the way across. So you can easily see this in this aspect of the build. So this is the temperature and pressure relief line. This is where the water heater is going to be placed. The flow pipe is in. The water lines are here. Temperature and pressure relief line, and the drain pan line for the water heater. But as we go through the wall here, we see that this drops down. It probably isn't real critical, but you can actually move this up a little bit at this point to get it where it's level.
Brent, I'd like to thank you again for taking your time out today to kind of point out some of the major things to look out for when you're building a house. What would you say are the top, say 3 things that you really need to look at?
Top 3 things, definitely the wall framing and the quality of the studs. We need to look at support for the structure itself in the attic. And I think we need to look around the perimeter foundation and around the exterior walls and make sure that everything is in place and correct there. Those are probably the 3 biggest things.
Okay, thanks again for taking the time out. And I guess one last thing to ask, this client's house that you just did the inspection, how did you evaluate it?
I looked at it as most of the stuff is things that can be fixed very easily, but there are things that the builder and the contractors seem to kind of slough through sometimes. So there are some repairs. I've got approximately 14 or 15 on here right now. These are things that actually need to be done before we actually get the drywall up. So I think it worked out very well to have this done in this process of building, so that I think the customer will be satisfied, and the builder most likely is glad to have another set of eyes look at the house anyway.
Okay. If you need a house inspection, I'll go ahead and put Brent's contact information down below. I hope this helped out. I've used Brent quite a bit, and I trust his honesty and integrity. I hope this helped out if you're looking at buying a new house. It's so simple to get all these things taken care of prior to putting the drywall in. And of course, there's a lot of planning that goes into this. If y'all have any questions, go ahead and write those down in the comments section down below. Again, Pierce with North Texas Home Connection. I hope y'all have a great day.